Who in this audience has noticed themselves feeling more sick, exhausted, and irritated than usual? This may not just be stress or the latest flu that's going around that you, for some reason, can't avoid getting. It could be a lot more serious. It could be dehydration. Hydration levels don't care who you are, what you look like, or even how much money you make. It's a great equalizer, and it's something we all have to deal with. Staying hydrated is something I've struggled with this winter, and I am working on changing that and hoping on helping you as well. It is important to stay hydrated during the winter. Today I want to talk about why you should care about staying hydrated, what affects your hydration levels, and what you can do about it. To begin, let's talk about why we need to stay hydrated. Why do we want to do this? Your body needs periodic intake of water in order to keep a level high enough that it can continually cleanse itself and operate its cooling and heating systems to keep you right where you need to be temperature-wise so that your body can function. Staying hydrated also helps you fight off sickness by flushing things out of your body continuously and just keeping you a bit more clean. Keeps you from getting too exhausted to fight off infections and helps minimize symptoms of sickness by keeping your mucous membranes like your nose, throat, eyes moist so that you don't feel dry and irritated and start scratching yourself and make things worse. Your body is around 70% water, and losing even 10% of it could prove to be fatal. This is from an article on Yahoo. The Mayo Clinic also lists dry mouth, sleepiness, thirst, decreased urine output, few or no tears when crying, dry skin, headache, constipation, and dizziness or lightheadedness as symptoms of dehydration. So a lot of things are actually caused by this, and you may not realize it. Now that you know why hydration is important, let's talk about what influences your hydration levels. There are many things which affect your hydration levels. One being your level of activity. It will determine how much you sweat. If you're a lot more active, you'll sweat more and you'll lose water at a much higher rate. And you'll need to take a drink a lot more often to keep your water levels up and keep you from getting dehydrated. Another part of that is you're also going to lose electrolytes when you sweat, and you need to make sure you replace those as well when you get rehydrated. Your environment plays a very large part in your hydration levels. If you spend a lot of time out in crisp, dry, winter air, like a lot of us do when we're walking to or from classes or getting out of the class and stopping to talk with friends for 5 or 10 minutes and it's cold and the wind's blowing, or if your home doesn't stay adequately humidified, that can lead you to be dehydrated as well, much faster than you otherwise would. For example, I've had a lot of problems myself with dehydration in my apartment this winter. After I switched from a gas heater, which burns fuel and produces carbon dioxide and water vapor as an output, which would normally keep my apartment a bit more humidified than it would be, to an electric heater, which is supposed to be more efficient, but it doesn't replace moisture in my air, and with leakage in my apartment, the air basically becomes just as dry as it is outside. This has caused me a lot of problems. I felt more fatigued. I've been more susceptible to colds, and I've woken a lot of times with bone dry mouth and throat. Like if you ever had cotton mouth where it feels like your tongue feels dry and it's like sticking to the roof of your mouth, it's not good. You want to avoid it if you can. Another thing that can affect it is caffeine. Caffeine is a staple of our students' college life. It's what we use to get through classes, boring professors, just survive the next day. It gives you some energy. But it also causes your body to dehydrate faster and can have a large impact if you're drinking a lot of it. If you're drinking a lot of coffee, a lot of sodas with caffeine, it's going to make you dry out faster, and you need to drink more water to compensate for that. Knowing why you need to stay hydrated and understanding some of the things that affect it is only half the battle. Let's talk about what you can do to make a difference. There are some things you should consider doing to improve your hydration. It's recommended, and you can find this in many sources. Most people recommend that you consume 64 ounces of water per day to maintain health. although you might need more if you're sick, or if you're going to exercise a lot, or if you're going to be in really dry air, you're going to want to increase that. That's just sort of a good baseline. You want to make sure you're getting at least that much. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services lists drinking water and electrolyte beverages to prevent dehydration as important ways of taking care of yourself if you have the flu. So if you're sick in school, can't get to class, at least make sure you're staying hydrated. It'll help you get back, even if you don't want to get back, a lot faster, and you'll feel better. If you're living in an environment that doesn't maintain a reasonable level of humidity, you might want to consider investing in a humidifier or boiling an occasional pot of water if you can afford to do that. I've started using a humidifier in my apartment. It's caused a lot of improvement. My air is a lot easier to breathe as long as I can keep it filled, and it's just a good idea. If you drink a lot of caffeine, consider substituting water or juice or maybe a sports drink or something when you feel thirsty. I drink a lot of Mountain Dew, and my body feels more naturally active when I manage to go without it for a while. Now, you should know what you're up against when it comes to dehydration, and I think you should be a little bit better prepared to meet the challenge of it. In conclusion, hydration is a very important part of your health because it regulates your body's to keep it healthy. Your body's water levels are affected by more than just drinking. You have exercise, environment, all these things. It's not impossible to do something about it. It is important to stay hydrated during the winter. Take care of your body, and it will take care of you. Don't stay thirsty, my friends.